Okay, how is that?
Hey guys, my name is Ray, and today's the day that we are really late. Sorry about that. YouTube was giving us fits and didn't want to let me log into my account. It had like some issue there. But the good news is we are here. So thank you for joining me. Today I am joined by my lovely, lovely wingman, Amelia. Amelia, tell them what's up.
Hey, it's Amelia. Yeah, we had multiple difficulties. I am actually sitting in front of my cell phone and using that camera because my laptop wouldn't work. And I can see myself like on this video, and it looks like I have black lipstick on. I don't. It's a wine color. But oh, and Ray. So I'm like 99.9% sure that Jamie is currently watching. So if she is, Jamie, you need to type in the chat so that we can give you a shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Jamie, who is a newfound follower of R'hllor. No, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. I was gonna say R'hllor.
She like finished the entire series in like record time, and then today she started reading the books. So I mean, she's hooked.
I mean, Game of Thrones tends to have that effect on people. But before we start off, I have a couple of things I wanted to say. Uh, One, I wanted to say thank you for all you guys. Today, I finally hit 4,000 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who has been there from the very beginning, and thank you to everyone who just joined and allowed us to, get over that huge milestone. So thank you again for the 4,000 subs. You guys are the best, and we have a lot to talk about today. Um, I don't even know where to start off with all of the stuff we have to talk about. But uh, again, thanks guys for everything. Today we have a ton to talk about because it was a crazy episode. Amelia, I kind of do hear myself a little bit on the phone. I know it's a bit off the cuff. We're doing this right now, but I don't know. I hear myself when I talk.
I don't know what to do.
You don't have headphones? No.
No. Well, I'm on my iPhone, so the plug is on the bottom, and my phone's sitting up. And
I don't know. I think sideways seems like the way to go. Sideways, everybody wins. But what we could do
keep
is
talking. Let me see what I can do. Okay.
All right. I'll keep talking. But before we even start, let's just give some shout outs to those people who are those lovely viewers who are in the chat. So let's give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Erin Heybig. Thank you so much for the donation. She donated $15 like 10 minutes before the stream even started, which is insane. So thank you so much for the donation. And that is all going to go to buying new stuff for the channel because, hell, I need it. But let's just give out some shout outs. BBM. Why is the car going off? That's New York life for you guys. BBM, Peter Griffin, Aaron again, Marie, let's see, Big E. Thank you everyone who's joining. Filthy Casual. Yeah, we need to get that fixed, Amelia, because I like it comes out clearly on this end.
Okay, I'm trying.
All right. Todd Fowler, Tyrion Jr., Lance Stark. All of you guys, thank you for joining us. Filthy Casual again. We have a lot to talk about because there is one topic that I really want to talk about because I know a lot of people have been yelling fake news at me and that they don't believe something. And we'll get on that later because I honestly I'm sold that something went down in that cave, but we'll get down to that. And while Amelia, gets that fixed, I don't know. Let me talk about some other stuff. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Stacy Smith. Shout out to Stacy Smith. Eduardo Blanco. Brendan Casey. Thanks for joining us, guys, too. Phil H. Alright. So, I don't know. Let me start off first with the topics. I'll start off first. And then we'll get back to Amelia when Amelia lets me know how she's doing.
You tell me. I just put the headphones in. Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, no, I can't hear myself now. It sounds great. It sounds perfect.
Y'all need to be donating to me.
At least it's not the gold over the ear ones, because
I know
those were killing you the other day. But we have a lot to talk about, Amelia. Like, we have so much to talk about. Like, a lot to talk about, right? We have so much. It's crazy that King's Landing is maybe, like, where the less stuff happened in the previous episode. I feel that we should maybe start off with there. So let's just start off with King's Landing. Now, in King's Landing, we see that Cersei is talking with Tychos, and she basically paid the debt that was owed to the Iron Bank in one swoop. In one payment, right? I love this image right here, how Tychos is looking at Cersei. But I'm interested in seeing, what do you think about Cersei paying this huge debt to the Iron Bank? What do you think about it? What do you think, how do you think this will affect the remaining story? What do you think we're going to get out of this? Do you think Cersei will get the Golden Company? I want to know, what do you think about King's Landing?
Well, as somebody who used to work in banking, they really will miss the interest payments. it's kind of crappy that she's paying off this huge loan with money that's not even hers. But I don't know at this point if we're going to see the Golden Company. If they're gonna, if it's gonna go that way. I don't know if they were just doing it and bringing up the Golden Company as a nod to the books, because they've done some things in this season like that, giving a shout out to the books. But yes, the gold made it through the gates, but it's still not in the Iron Bank. So I'm hoping that maybe something happens and they don't actually get the money.
I mean, I'm with you on that. I was with the same sentiment, right? I was saying to myself, I was like, well, yeah, she technically gave the gold to the Iron Bank, but with Danny, or does that mean that it will matter? Like, that they got the gold? Danny could just take it, but I don't think that Danny would do something like that, just for the simple fact that, the Iron Bank is such a huge thing that basically casts a shadow over everybody who runs Westeros, and I just don't think that she would. Oh snap! Oh snap! Thanks, Aaron, for that donation. Thank you, yeah, for the 4K subs. Again, it kind of shocked me because I put a sound, so when the super chat, and it kind of startled me a bit. But thank you again for the donation. That is going to go for some new equipment that I need to desperately put up. Like, the thing is that YouTube gives us the money monthly, so I won't see that maybe till the end of the month. But again, the Iron Bank, I just don't see a scenario where Danny would go up directly against the Iron Bank. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that they have so much pull that you would just make a too strong of an enemy out of the Iron Bank. So I think that they do have their gold, and they do get the gold. What I thought, and the way that I saw it, was that necessarily, all right, yeah, Cersei paid the debt, but now whoever wins this whole war between them gets a clean slate. That's the way I see it. At first I was like, oh no, Cersei's winning. But then I see it as, if anybody were to follow, let's say, Cersei as ruler of Westeros, that person would then have a clean slate. Because we see that they were supporting Stannis because they wanted Stannis to pay the debt. And that's why they supported Stannis. So if, let's say, for example, the debt wasn't paid, and Daenerys or Jon Snow or Sansa or Tyrion or whoever that was left on the throne, they would have that massive debt. And then if they wouldn't commit to paying the debt, the Iron Bank would pay or fund the claim of anybody who would be willing to pay that debt. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that the writers just took it out of the story. They paid it. It's already over with, and they got rid of the Tyrells with it in the process. But it was something that they felt that they needed to do. But I just felt that it was interesting the way that they did it. Let's see. You want to move on to Winterfell? Because I feel like we didn't really get much here in King's Landing. We could talk about the beginning, about Tyrion. I mean, not Tyrion, about Bronn and Jaime. What did you take away from Bronn and Jaime's conversation in the beginning, after the whole Highgarden gold being taken? What did you think about that? Did you have any thoughts on that?
I think that it was just a moment that they were showing us to show that Bronn hasn't been paid his dues yet. There's still a lot that that Jaime owes him. And then that was his stance, and that was his feelings. Just text me, and I'm on my phone, and she's texting my phone. Sorry. That's where Bronn stands right now. That's his mentality. And I still haven't, you still haven't paid your dues. Which that scene, I think, just supported at the end of the show during the battle, like when he lost his gold. I think that just supported his mentality, because I think moving forward, he's going to say, forget this. None of it's worth it. scene. It was just supporting what I think he's now going to do, which is realize that this isn't worth it.
I mean, with Braun, I did a video a while back, and it kind of going around a lot, and it hit a big milestone that I think it got like 100K or something like that views, and it was that I said before the season that Braun would leave the Lannisters, like he would betray the Lannisters, he would jump ship when he sees that like the quote unquote shit hits the fan, right? Because it's just all right, yeah, they gave him gold, but like you said, he loses it later on. And not only that, they promised him a bigger castle. He had the castle. He had he had the plan ready to kill the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law. He was like, oh, so he had it all planned out. He was already good. And we see that Braun's mentality is that, I forgot with who he was talking. I think it was with Jamie, and he was talking about how he wanted to die, right? He wanted to die with seeing his children get old and like them enjoying what he got them. He wants to live like a simple life. He doesn't want to have like this, oh, I'm a badass life. So, to me, it was just interesting that he even lost the gold. He brought it up that everybody gets paid when they pay their debts, and then he says, just not to me. So to me, that was huge, because the way that Braun sees it, yeah, you paid me right now, but you paid me for what I just did. You didn't pay me for the whole Dorne thing. And Tyrion always paid him. You know what I mean? Tyrion always was. I feel that, let's say, for example, everybody, you see that scene that everybody wants to know, like, who's pulling out the sword, that it looks like they're in the dragon pit or whatever? That scene, what if Bronn is betraying the Lannisters there? Like, you know what I mean? Because it looks like either the Hound or Bronn. What if it's Bronn and he's betraying them? That's what I thought. I think that he will eventually leave Jaime's side. Now, to a point, I do believe that he does have a bond that is stronger than money with Jaime, because what he did with Drogon pushing Jaime into the water, that was insane. But we'll get to that later. Overall, I do think that there is something there.
I'm glad that we're in agreement on something.
I know, right? Because we're always like no, and I feel like we will be very on opposite ends when it comes to the whole Jon Snow and the cave thing. But we'll get to that a little bit later, because I feel like the majority of people are against me on that. But I'm still sticking to it. I feel like something happened in that cave. I see here that Euron Greyjoy, shout out to Euron Greyjoy in the chat. Euron Greyjoy says that Bronn twat saved Jaime. Save that Jaime twat. He's loyal. He's a loyal fool. Plus, Jaime paid him too. Yeah, Jaime paid him for what he did at Highgarden, and maybe for some other stuff. But he didn't give him that bigger castle and that better looking wife that he was promised. So that's just my opinion. I don't know, when I remember Euron saying the word twat, it makes me laugh so much. For some reason, I'm so immature. Like, I feel like me and Euron, we see eye to eye on that maturity level. We're kind of immature like that. But another topic that I wanted to talk about was something that went big in the last episode, right? It was Winterfell. We see that Arya arrives at Winterfell. We see that these two crazy guards didn't recognize her. She's asking for people who aren't basically in Winterfell anymore. And as soon as the guards tell Sansa who it is, Sansa knows that it's Arya. And it was like it was really nice. I really enjoyed the moment. But it was so freaking awkward, in my opinion. What did you think about it? Did you think that it was awkward? Because, like, when I saw it, I was like, why is it? It feels good, but it felt awkward. What did you think about the Sansa? I mean, one, Arya returning to Winterfell, and two, the Stark reunion.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. It felt forced. I mean, I don't know. Like, when Arya says, do I have to call you Lady Stark now? And Sansa says, yeah. Really? Like, if that was meant to be a joke or sarcastic, I didn't get it. I didn't pick up on it. I just thought, like, really? I would be... I don't care if you all are complete opposites of one another. I would be running and just hugging my sister. it was kind of awkward, but I mean, yeah, yeah, it was. It did mellow out. It smoothed out for sure, but I don't know that out it's that it really ever like recovered from the poor quality at the beginning. Like personally, for me, I didn't buy it.
I mean, for one, the two guards at Winterfell, I love those two guards. I don't care what nobody says. Like, I feel like we can nitpick on things that you don't like, but I enjoyed those two guards. It was pretty funny. You know, maybe it's something that I probably won't like in the 20th time that I see the episode. I'm like halfway there already, but I enjoyed the guards the first time I saw it. It was comedic, it was funny, it was interesting. It showed how secure Arya is in herself. That's one of the things that I think it showcased. Like, we remember how Arya was like Arya in the first season. It that same thing happened to her in King's Landing with the guards, right? And we saw how like confident she was, and it shows that Arya, through everything she's been through, she's still very confident about who she is and how she talked to the guards, even though they were stupid. It was enjoyable. I really liked it. I liked how goofy they were. Then you move on to the whole that scene, like when she's in the yard at Winterfell and she's just looking around, right? Like, to me, that scene was just like, oh man, that to me was more emotional than the actual scene when her and Sansa are hugging and talking, because it was just crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, to see Arya finally, because yeah, Sansa wanted to return to Winterfell, but Arya never really wanted to leave. You know what I mean? Like, she was that girl, like the girl that she was like that Stark. You know what I mean? So to me, it was dope to see her back there overall. It was so awkward, her and Sansa, and I don't know if it's because we've maybe gotten a little bit of fatigue with like the Stark reunions already, because we got Bran, I think, in the last episode, in episode 3, but it was interesting. Like, I really enjoyed it. I am interested in seeing though how the dynamic between Sansa and Arya progresses though, because I agree with you that if it were my sister and we all went through all that crazy stuff, I would run towards my sister. But me and my sister have been at it before. And like, when you're mad at your sister and you don't get along, or you something, or like when you don't want to, like, you know what I mean? When you don't see eye to eye, you just don't see eye to eye. And I feel like Sansa and Arya have kind of been hinted at that, you know, like there might be a little bit something. And we could also move on to the next thing that happened at Winterfell. Arya and Bran reuniting, and Arya seeing Bran. And before we continue, let me give a shout out to Marie. Thank you, Marie, for the donation. Thank you, yeah, for the 4K. Marie has been on the channel for a very long time, supporting me and Amelia. And because that's another thing, like, you guys are supporting me, but you guys also, you know, show Amelia love. Amelia has always been here since last year. I think Amelia has been on the channel since I had like 500 subs. So to be here with 4K and Amelia here with me, it's always fun. So thank you, Marie, for the donation. But
all right.
Yeah. So back to the Bran part of it all. What did you think about Bran? Because Bran, the whole Bran situation was interesting. Before we get to the Bran Arya reunion, let's talk about Bran freaking Littlefinger out, because that was very interesting, right? We see that Littlefinger is kissing Bran's ass because he knows that Bran has power to be the Lord of Winterfell if he so chooses, but he gives him the dagger. What do you think about that play of Littlefinger giving him the dagger? What do you think about this scene where we see Mira and Bran and the whole dagger situation? What did you think about that?
Well, I thought that he was a real dick to Mira. I don't care if you're detached. I don't care if you have PTSD from what you've been through. I don't care if you're not Bran anymore. Like, it's like he went under the wall. He didn't even act like that in the first episode when he was like, I know exactly who I'm, you know, Jon Snow's brother, and I saw you at the Fist of the First Men, or Hardhome, whatever he told him. Like, he seemed more normal then, and it's like he stepped through the wall, and whatever magic is in the wall just apparently turned him into this stone being. Like, you shouldn't treat anybody that way. You know, I mean, that was that was just really, it was a dick move. But with Littlefinger, I don't really, I don't know Littlefinger's motive for giving him that. If he just thought it would be funny, you know, like how I'm really the one who, you know, was behind trying to slit your throat. So it's just to my amusement that I'm going to give you this dagger and sit here and talk about your mom and how much I loved her. Because Littlefinger can't seem to stop. Like, he just wants to tell everybody I loved Catelyn and I love Sansa. But when Bran says chaos is a ladder, that's, you have to give him, like, you have to, you know, give like a fist bump or a high five to him for saying that. And I wish we would have, I wish that they would have, you know, dove a little deeper into it, but to, like, even if it was just maybe seeing Littlefinger later, I don't know, like a conversation with maybe Sansa or a conversation with somebody else about Bran telling him that, because all we got was like that shocked look on Littlefinger's face. I want to see more about how that affected Littlefinger.
There's an interesting thing about Littlefinger, and I'll get onto that later with the battle, with the Arya battle, because the actor who portrays Littlefinger did say something that is crazy to me, and I wanted to talk about this with you. I didn't even make like a video because I thought it was so interesting. I'm surprised more people didn't make a video, but we'll touch on that now. Basically, my thought on the whole Bran scene, I have said it and I will continue to say this. Bran is a dick. Yo, he says he remembers what it was to be Brandon Stark. So he knows how Bran would have approached the situation. I honestly feel like Bran is on the wrong side of things. Like, I honestly do believe that, because most of the people that we associate with good seem to be on the eyesight of thing. Yes, House Stark overall is in the north and it's cold, but overall, Jon and Daenerys, who are the people who could actually do something in the upcoming war, seem to be on the fire side of things, right? And then when you look at like the way that Bran approaches people, it's insane. He knows that people don't understand him, but he makes like the most inappropriate comments ever. I mean, the Littlefinger one, to me, that one was dope. It was like, I know what you did. That, to me, that kind of hints at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that you said this. Like, I've seen you say this. And Littlefinger, I just love the way that they filmed it, because it seems like Littlefinger's a bit thrown off by it. But to me, it's just insane how uncomfortable he makes people feel. Like, you know what I mean? We saw with, how do you mention to your sister the day that she was forced to marry someone who raped her and tortured her, like, after, like, bro, that's crazy. And the Mirror part of it all is interesting, because we do see that Mirror says she's going back home to her father, and that's a whole other thing, right? Because I do think that they mentioned Howland for, like, as a way of foreshadowing that Howland Reed will come into play in the story. I was a bit hesitant before, but now I'm more into it, that Howland will actually be a thing in this episode. What did you think about that before I move on to Mira? Like, do you think that Howland, will see him anytime soon?
I really, really hope so. I'm still wondering that still shot when we just had pictures before they start. No, it was the trailer. It was the first trailer when Brian is sitting there in his wheelchair in front of the tree, and people are like, who is that standing there? It kind of looks like, and when somebody said, no, that's probably the Maester of but
Amelia, you're kind of lagging.
It really does. But then I'm shocked and I don't know what to do.
You heard Amelia? It's kind of really lagging. All right, so I do not.
Well,
it's like lagging really, really bad. Like really, really bad. Like you. Oh my God! Wait, let me change your face because it keeps freezing up on you. I don't know why it was doing that. It was like really crazy. Um, yeah, somebody just called you a demon. Demon? No, but what you call it? I think you're back. All right, I think it's all good. You wanna? you wanna go back on that? Yes, I could hear you. Now you're paranoid. Yeah, Mr. Woken.
And I have taken screenshots of him. Maester Wilkin is bald in a different way than whoever is standing there at the tree. It does look like the three-eyed raven. However, that would be kind of weird since he died and flew away in a cloud of black dust and smoke. I'm really holding out that maybe that's Howland Reed.
You think you really think that might? I mean, I think we have to get Howland. Howland has to be like on the horizon. And I want to give a big shout out to George Sartiano. Kyle's right hand man. We gotta have him on, Amelia. Like I really want to have George on. Like I really like the way that he thinks outside of the box. Like you know what I mean? We gotta have George on. Shout out to George. I mean, I think that because some people have wrote me that it might like they thought it could have been Howland. I just don't think that. I don't know. Like, I'm not 100% sold on it. I do think that it is a possibility, but I think I'm like 80% sure that it's Woken, Mr. Woken, because he kind of has the same head in my opinion. Like I think that
no,
I do think I do think he has the same head. You're like no, you don't see like it's the same head.
He is Wilkins more bald. That I mean, the guy that was in the trailer had a bald spot, but Wilkins is like bald all up, like in the front too, and this guy just had a bald spot, sort of in the back.
I mean, I do believe.
Now I'll be really mad if it's a stand-in from the back. It's a different person when they shoot him from the front. It's Maester Wilkin. I mean, that really pissed me off. But I'm telling you, it's not the same person. Wrong, because most.
I mean, I personally think it is Mr. Wilkin, but let's move on to Mira. So we do get Mira saying that she's going back to her home, and like Bran treats her like man, like he's like man, he brushes her off a bit. It's kind of insensitive of him, but I don't know. I feel like it's weird because we know that in the books it seems like, in my opinion, it seems like Bran has like a little bit of a crush on Mira. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know, but I just hope to see that Bran gets like centered, like he levels out before the end of the show, because it seems like yeah, he may have taken a lot of information in, but he did say that he remembers what it was to be Bran, and now he's like more than one person. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think in the chat. Let me know. Let's give some shout outs before we continue on to our next topic. And I see Cameo. Shout out to Cameo, Marco Minko, Phil H, 9 Nichols. Let's see, Cartez, Stacy Smith, Lola Dixie, Scott McCloy, and yeah, shout out to all of you in the chat. Timo30, shout out to Timo30. And you know what? Let me make Timo a moderator, because Timo is always in my chats, and I remember she said once I was stingy with the moderators, and I'm not. So Timo, you are an anointed moderator. So again, shout out to everyone in the chat. Let's see. Okay, now everybody.
And now your watch begins.
Yeah, and now your watch begins. All right, let's see. Rich Shatwell, shout out to Aaron again. Ida Niles, Euron Greyjoy. I would imagine what people think when they hear me saying Euron Greyjoy, giving shout outs after the video's not live. Let's see, Craig. Damn, like this goes fast when people start writing. All right, SM Down 9. Let's see. Scott Tiny Productions, Peter Griffin, Lola Dixie. I said that. Stuntley Constable, and everyone in the chat. Just mad love. Thanks for the support again. Let's move on to another one that was dope, because this one was dope. It was a bit spoiled for me, right? It was a bit spoiled. But I saw this like little promo, right? Like a couple of days before the episode came out, and it was the Arya and Brienne fight. I just love this battle overall. To me, it was gold. It was so awesome. We have like the audience watching it. It was insane. It was something that didn't make sense, but it was still so cool to look at. I want to know, what did you think about the Arya battle? Because it was truly, like, to me, that was like one of the highlights of the whole episode. What did you think about that, Amelia? Let me know.
I agree. It was kind of odd. I didn't particularly like how overly confident Arya was from the get-go. Like, she had this little smirk on her face. And it's fine if you're a great swordsman, you know, a water dancer. But it's like she knew she was going to win, and that's fine if you go into it like that. But like, she didn't have a poker face. And I don't know, maybe if it's the age difference, but she just had this smirk on her face that seems very disrespectful to Brienne, because Brienne is a great swordswoman, whatever you want to call her. And there needs to be some respect there, and it just didn't come across that way. The fight itself was awesome. How she was, is it unsorted? What's the word when you lose your sword?
When you lose your sword?
Yeah, how she lost needle, so then she used the dagger.
Yeah.
She was unsorted, whatever the word is. Like, unarmed. That wasn't, unarmed, thanks. That was a nice, like, she did a good move there, and it was quick, and, you know, Brienne gave Arya the respect that Arya deserved, but Arya was a little punk and didn't do the same thing. That really got to me. But I did like, you know, the answer when she said no one. She wasn't lying, you know, when she's like, who taught you that? But, I mean, technically, it was someone. It was Syrio Forel. But I liked how the answer was no one, because there's always been the theory that Syrio Forel is Jaqen H'ghar, which then would really be no one. And it kind of made me think, is that theory true? And this is just their nod to it? Like, maybe it's true in the books. Is this their nod to that? Or did Arya know something that we didn't? I don't know. My mind just wandered. I liked that response because it just made me think about that theory. But she was a little disrespectful and like a bratty little teenager who knew she was going to win.
I mean, I don't think that she was disrespectful. And I'm going to say, this is why I'm going to defend Arya. Because Arya, like, one, I'm very competitive with everything that I do. I'm super uber competitive, like crazy competitive. I'm so competitive that I've thought about recording myself playing like games because of it. Because like I like freak the hell out. But I will give you, like, I feel that it's more disrespectful to not respect the ability of someone that you're going up against, right? So like, let's say for example, yeah, if I go like out on a date, I might like let a girl, like if I'm going out with a girl, I probably might let her win. So like, you know what I mean? Like, or something. But if she's good, I'm going to play hard against you. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I feel that you respect the ability of the person that you're going up against. And I feel that Arya did that. I felt that if anybody, Brienne was disrespecting Arya because she was like, you know, and not even disrespecting, because I think the word disrespecting is a strong, harsh word, right? Like, I think that it was like she was underestimating Arya. And Arya was like, oh, you think that I'm a little girl, I'm whatever. And I think that Arya was like showing off, like, look, this is what I could do. Like, I could take you on. So that's what I think was most happening. But I really, really enjoyed the battle, man. That was so dope. And to me, the more important thing is this look right here that we see that Arya is giving Littlefinger, right? This look, in Littlefinger looking down. I read this article, and I don't recall exactly what it 100%. I think I read it yesterday, and they were talking about what Littlefinger was basically thinking when he saw that. And the actor that portrays Littlefinger was saying that he might have recognized Arya from when she was with Tywin. Now, to me, and I want to know what everybody in the chat says about this, because to me, this is insane, right? To me, this is insane because if indeed Littlefinger, the actor said that, if Littlefinger did recognize Arya, do you think that Arya might be in danger? I don't think she's in danger because, of course, she could defend herself. We see that. But what do you think that puts into the dynamic in Winterfell? Do you think that Arya will really have to speed up her timeline of killing Littlefinger? What do you think? Like, if Littlefinger recognized Arya from that time that he was in Harrenhal, do you think he'll dip? Do you think that he'll take an offensive standpoint and go up against Arya? What do you think will happen there?
I don't think he would dip. No, I don't think that he would leave. I think he would try to weasel his way, you know, out of it or around it.
I mean,
when she looked at Littlefinger, she was like, buddy.
Yo, I think that Littlefinger might try to make a run for it. Like after reading that article, I was like, Littlefinger might try to make a run for it. And once he tries to make a run for it, she's the one like taking the horse when he's trying to leave, and then she kills him like on the way to the Vale. You know what I mean? Kind of like because remember, the Starks at this point, Littlefinger has eaten at Winterfell. He's lived at Winterfell for the last couple of months or whatever time has passed. So he has guest right at Winterfell. So I think that if Arya were to kill Littlefinger and not just like let's say for example like execute him, I think that she would wait till he's out of Winterfell. So like I just imagined like a scenario in where like Littlefinger might be leaving, and then like Arya kills him on the way to the Vale, and then like nobody has to give any responsibility for anything. Like he just disappeared, he just died. They killed him along the way. Like, you know what I mean? That's the way that I picture it. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. But that's just the way that I've imagined it. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it.
Can we talk about real quick the fact that we had so many discussions and so many theories of how Arya was going to get that dagger, and literally Bran just handed it to her. Like, yo. Here you go. We all thought, like, no, he just, it just goes to show the things that we talk about and that we speculate and how deep we get into this. And then he just handed it to her.
I mean, like I, for the most part, have gotten the blunt worst of it all, right? Because I did a video because in the trailer we see that Arya is like ducking and she's like looking under a bed. That scene has still not happened, but we get that scene, right? And in that scene, we see that Arya is like ducking under the bed and she's looking under the bed. And I just assumed that she was looking through Littlefinger's room and that's where she found the dagger. She probably knew about the dagger and then she would kill him. But Bran, like you said, Bran gave her the dagger. It was very easy, very simple. It was just like such an easy thing to do. And that now I have like a video. My video has like 72,000 views, right? And ever since it had like 25,000 views, everybody, like 50,000 views since, has been people telling me that I'm wrong. Like people are telling me that I'm wrong because I guessed it. Like, when I make theories, I don't see the spoilers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just guess based off whatever information I get. And if I see a spoiler, I say that I got it off the spoiler. When I made that video, I didn't see the spoiler. So I just want to put that out there. I made that prediction just based off of the trailer a month and a half before the season came out. So be easy on me, people.
Well, and a lot of times when I think things, or when I have an answer to something like speculation, a lot of it is kind of because it's sort of so a lot of times I'm wrong, but we're not mind readers either.
I mean, like the way that I see it, right? With the whole Arya debacle. Like like I see that Biggie said something in the chat, and this is something that I agree with him on, and I myself believe, and I was talking about this with Kyle and George that's in the chat the other day. I think that the dagger has something to do with Dragonstone and the Targaryens, because we did see it in the book when they're going through it at the Citadel, when Sam and Gilly are going through the books. We see that the dagger is in one of the books. They talk about obsidian dragonglass being used to decorate the weapons, and we later see that Dragonstone has the dragonglass. So to me, you put one and one together, and then you put like, okay, then you hear that the dagger is made of dragon bone, and I don't know. I just think that the person who it was going to be used to kill might have something to do with it too, because I was like I don't know. It's like, how can I explain? Because I'm gonna go into it. I wasn't gonna go into this, but I'm gonna go into this, people.
Well, you might want to switch the screen. You might want to switch the screen view if you're going to go into it.
I just switched it. I forgot that.
Because they've been looking at my face for a while now.
Nah, yeah, it's like I have to switch the screen manually when I'm doing the stream like this, people. So, you know, my bad if you don't want to see Amelia or you want to see me, or my bad if you see me too much, because of course, you know, you guys don't want to see this mug, but you know, it's a manual thing. But let's get back to the dagger. The dagger overall, I think that one, when you look at Valyrian steel, everybody believes that you might have to do like a sort of blood magic to create the Valyrian steel, right? Initially. So if that is indeed the case, and then you have all these, you have blood magic, you have dragon bone, you have the dragon glass, the obsidian, and then you have even like a ruby on it. You have all these magical things on it, and then when it kind of highlights to me the fact, Jesus, like New York. It kind of highlights the fact that it was going to be used to kill the three-eyed raven, or the future three-eyed raven. I was like, was this like somebody being warged or something? Like, this is like super tinfoil, but I mean, like, what is the bigger thing in this dagger? Like, what the hell is up with this dagger? Does this dagger need to be used to kill the Night King? Because I know a lot of people have mentioned that Arya might, you know, kill the Night King or a White Walker. Because why else would she have a Valyrian steel weapon? But to me, there is something very endgame about this dagger. I think that it has something to do huge with Bran. It maybe like Aegon or one of his sisters and the Night King. Like, I think that dagger is tied to those three people. So I'm interested, I'm hyped, and I really want to see what you guys think in the chat. Do you have any thoughts on all that crazy-ish I just said, Amelia? Because I said a lot, I know.
I did not know that there was this much that surrounded the dagger.
I mean, there is a lot. I mean, just look at the dagger overall. It's dragon bone. Dragons are magic, right? Just look at the obsidian. It has obsidian that was used to make the White Walkers, the dragon glass, right? It has like a ruby in it. I don't know where the dragon glass is on the dagger, but it says it when they have an image of it. So maybe it's in the bone, maybe it was used to sharpen the shit. I don't know what it is, but there's something with it. So you have like these four magical things, and then you put Bran into it all, and they highlight it in the books. They give it to Arya, who could actually kill someone. I think that it's just like super highlighted, and I think that we will get something super insane with it. But I want to know what you guys think in the chat. So let me look in the chat. Do you have any thoughts on it, Amelia? Like I said, I don't know. Besides,
I'm just kind of taking it in and listening. I'm going to need to do a little bit of more research on this dagger. And granted, a lot of times I do get real tinfoily, but I've been is now starting and ending in my busy season. Like I had 9 clients today. I did their makeup. Normally it starts way earlier when I'm not busy. So and we're in the middle of moving and packing. So I haven't had as much time to sit and, make my tinfoil hat. So I'm just taking all this in, but I like where it's going. I do.
I mean, I honestly go down like a loophole. Like I go like down a wormhole, a rabbit hole, whatever type of hole you want to put it. That's what I go down. Damn, we have a lot of people. We have 79 people watching right now. So shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Keeping the discussion alive. And I want to move on to our next topic because it was something pretty big. A lot of crazy stuff happened here, and let's just dig into it because Dragonstone was popping in the last episode. It was insane. We see that basically Jon and Daenerys go down a wonderful, wonderful romantic torchlit tour of the caves in Dragonstone, where they go like through basically a museum of the children of the forest. They're beautiful art pieces, and we get a lot in there, and we also get Daenerys finally getting the message or the information that all the crazy stuff that went down in Dragonstone. And hey, you're on Greyjoy. You just subscribed to the channel, so shout out to you're on Greyjoy. We got so much in Dragonstone, so we have to break it down into little bits and different pieces. Let's break it down into the caves, and let's break down the images in the cave. What did you think about the images in the cave? Because we did see those images that have been repeated in the show before. Jon looks like he finally convinced Daenerys of what's in the caves. What did you think about it? Did you think that there's something more there? Did you think that you understood some of the images? What are your thoughts on Dragonstone overall? Because I have a few thoughts, but I want to know what you think about
it. The shapes and the spirals that we've seen all throughout the series, I liked that they were there, but even in the episode, even Dan and Dave talked like, yes, they mean something, but we don't necessarily know what they mean. So I don't have thoughts on what they mean. I'm sort of waiting for them to tell me. I liked the fact that they had the idea to use, cave drawings, because that's something that we can all relate to here in the real world. And I just liked that idea. I thought that it was really smart. It sort of got a whole lot of stuff out of the way. It convinced Dany. It is something that we can all relate to. I don't have thoughts on the spiral images. I wish that we could get, how like and maybe they did, but I've been busy. Like how Game of Thrones, if there's a letter or there's something in a book, they'll actually post later on, like that page or that letter, so you can read it. I wish that they had better pictures of the drawings in the cave so that we could analyze them. Because I'd be all about that. I'd be like Indiana Jones in it, and trying to put things together. But I don't know if I answered all of your questions. I don't know if you want me to get into the dynamics of Dany and Jon or not.
All right. But so let me get into the signs first, and then we'll move on to the wonderful, wonderful thing that is Dany and
Jon.
Yeah, and Jon. No, because I just read someone. Lola Dixie says, I think I said this to you in another stream, but I will say it again. They went in the cave behind each other, and they came out walking side by side. And we'll get into that. Don't worry, Lola. We'll get into that. I know that once I say it, the chat might blow up because my video that I uploaded yesterday has like 13,000 views, and it was like half of that was like right away in a few a lot of people had a lot of comments on that video. I'm even scared to go into the comments of it, but we'll get to that now. But overall, we do see a lot of the same signals, like the spiral. We see a lot of stuff in there. I mean, I personally think that these images have something to do with, like, when I saw the images, I was like, okay, Bran has to see this. Like, Bran has to see this. There's something with Bran, because there is not a chance in hell that we will, be able to decipher this, because we don't know what the hell this is. We see that the White Walkers do it. We see that the Children of the Forest do it. But it's interesting because like I was telling George and I was telling Kyle on the other stream on Kyle's channel that I was the other day, I was like, the horses were used to make the spiral at the Fist of the First Men. They didn't use the humans. And it was interesting to me because when they created the White Walkers, they used like the rocks, and it's made out of rocks. So to me, it's interesting that they don't use actual men or like people. They use like things of, I don't know. I think that to me, that was something that highlighted. Also, the placement of it all. I want to do like a video on it, on some other thoughts. I just don't know if I think something very specific. Like, all my thoughts are very vague on the signs overall. But I think that Bran has to be the one to decipher them, because Bran possibly doesn't even have to go to the cave. All he has to be told is, look back to Dragonstone. Look back through Dragonstone, and what do you get? And can you read this? Could you tell us what this is? And I think that we might get an answer on that. But let's move on to the Jon and Dany side of it all, right? We see that Jon is giving Daenerys the eyes. We see that they're getting kind of pretty into it. You know what I mean? There's like the mojo, like Austin Powers says. And the mojo, like, when I saw it, I was like, can you feel the love tonight? Like, I went full-fledged Lion King when I saw this. You remember that? The Lion King? Nala and Simba? Like, yeah, I went, it's funny how you smile when I said it. That song came straight to my head. I was like, damn, if I could just put that song over this and not get my channel stricken down, that would be gold. But that's what I thought when I saw the scene. And I don't know, like, they're making it very visible that there is chemistry between Jon and Daenerys. What did you think about their chemistry?
I was talking to Jamie about this yesterday, because she texted me and she said, how do you think that Game of Thrones is going to end? I'm telling y'all, she is hooked. She's already started rewatching the seasons, and she's reading the books. She's putting us to shame. Anyway, and can I also say this before I forget? How many memes have been made from these cave scenes? Like, they had to have known that so many jokes were going to be made from all of this. I just find that funny. But I think that Jon has this sort of look that he could look at Sansa, he could look at Ygritte, he could look at, and you could feel the warmth in his eyes. Maybe it's because I'm a woman, maybe because I find him attractive, but he just has those sorts of eyes, and he's a kind person. And I look at Dany as, if she sees an attractive man, she wants to take him to bed. But no. I would be okay with Jon and Dany if they didn't push it so hard. If we had 10 episodes and 2 more seasons and more for a relationship to actually develop, instead of it looking like they're just pushing them together for the sake of pushing them together, I would enjoy watching it more. But when I watch those scenes, it's very, I said it, I'm like, yeah, I know where you're going with this. Like, you're making it so obvious instead of letting it just organically and naturally build itself up like it should be. And if we had 10 episodes in the 2 seasons, they would be able to do that. I think that would be a better story, and I would get on board with it more. But I'm afraid that it's all just going to happen so fast. And that's not Jon's way, really. I mean, you know, that's
just to further your point. If you recall, Talisa and Rob, they had that time, like in when Talisa met Rob, and I agree with you. Like, they had that time to actually make it something. Is that what you mean? Like, that Rob courtship, like when Rob was courting his wife on the show?
Well, yeah, but I look at Rob and Talisa a little differently, because this is Jon and Dany. This is ice and fire. We know that they're related, which, whatever, that's not a big thing to me. I mean, it is what it is. But you have these 2 huge characters. I mean, you saw the love that Dany had for, I want to say Drogon. That's the dragon. Drogo. For Drogo. And you saw that it was a season from where she just was forced to marry this man, and then they fell in love. and that was a full season. And literally, you've got like a few scenes, and now it's like writings on the wall. They're gonna bang. Do you know what I mean? And it bothers me
I like
because we know that John's not that way.
yeah, he's not assertive. He's not very aggressive. I just like the way he just went like, we know they're gonna bang, like, like they're gonna bang.
It's so obvious. I just wish that it wasn't like that, and so I'm kind of rolling my eyes at it. That's all.
I mean, yo, I'm not gonna lie. I made that video yesterday, and I'll get to the video now after. And I did not know that Daenerys was on such a shit list that she is. Like, yo, there is, and I'm not even like a Daenerys fan like that. I just said that John bend the knee, like, and people are flipping out. Like, people are like, somebody called me something I can't even repeat right now. I don't even remember the freaking word. I was like, yo, I think that there is chemistry there. I for one don't feel like it's so blatant. Like, yes, I picked up on it, but I feel that it's more coming from Jon Snow than from Daenerys. Like I see Jon Snow, he's like, he has like this, and it's funny how he's just like you know what I mean? It's like this slow like head nod, like, and then he has like this piercing eye, like, please help me. Like, I felt like it was more Jon, because Jon, like, the character of Jon Snow opened up at this moment, and that's why it comes across like that. But I don't know, man. I was just laughing when like, I know I for one have never really bought into the whole Daenerys and Jon marrying thing, the whole them hooking up thing. To me, if at this point, if they still hook up, it would still surprise me. That's how against them getting together I have always been. But, because it just seems like cliche, but just because it seems cliche doesn't mean that it's not the right thing for the story. The story makes sense if they hook up. But I don't know, man. I just feel that it is a bit rushed. I do agree with you on that, but it...
But do you remember, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you remember last year when I thought I could see, like, the way that he looked at Sansa? I was like, look at how he's looking at Sansa. Like, she could end up, I said, what if she's Nisa? Like, I think Jon can look at anybody with those eyes, and we're going to think, like, I don't know. I just... But then, you say that it comes more from Jon. But when Dany says, I will fight for you. Not with you, but I will fight for you. I mean...
No, but
I don't know that I've ever even said that to the man that I was engaged to. Like, that, like, when she said that, it wasn't like, I'll fight with you and I'll help you. It was very like, I will fight for you and I will help you. It was just so... like, she said it like so sexual, or like, I don't know. It just, I thought a lot of it came from her.
I mean, no, look, like, have you ever seen the show My Wife and Kids? If anybody in the chat,
yeah, a long time ago. Wait, My Wife and Kids.
It's with Damon Wayans and I forgot this woman.
Yeah, that was a good show.
He had like 3 kids.
That was good. That was really funny.
In that show, she used to do, the wife used to do something like, you want all of this, this, and I thought about Dany. She was like, if you, and then she went up to the sensuality of it all. She's like, I will fight for you, and the North, and then she just hits him with the, when you bend the knee, bam, take it. I was like, that's so fucked up.
But in my head, I was like, the way she presented it, I thought to myself, you mean when he bends both knees? And I even sent that text to you. I sent that to you in a text. I was like, the way she said it, she might as well have said, when you bend both knees.
And I don't know, man. To me, it was so funny the way that she just she's like, you could get all of this, and all you need to do is bend the knee. And Jon is like, oh man, like, and then his response is, my people will never follow a southern leader. He's like, oh man, like, I don't want to do this. Like, can we just like get on with this and without bending the knee? Like, it just made me laugh when I saw it. I was like, oh man, it was crazy. I wish I would have recorded a reaction for this video, but I have my reaction for the next episode tomorrow. But it's just insane. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just crazy that that all of this, like, I think that. So let's just move on to the next point, because I know that a lot of people. I see that someone mentioned it in the chat, and I know a lot of people wanted to get at me live while I'm talking about this. So let's just hit it. I had made a video talking about Jon Snow probably already bending the knee, right? I think that Jon Snow very much possibly bend the knee to Daenerys after she talks about his pride, because we know that this conversation parallels the one that he had with Mance Rayder. It, like, I made a video and there's like clip for clip, it's basically the same conversation. The only thing is that Jon is on the opposite side of the conversation. Now he's where Mance was, and now he understands what Mance is talking about, but Daenerys is pushing him to bend the knee and he'll help her. Now, I think that Jon possibly bend the knee here, or they made a deal in this scene. Do you think that, one, let's just start off like this. Do you think that that happened, or maybe it didn't? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's possible that he bend the knee, or are you like, nope, he did not do it?
I don't think that he bent the knee.
You're sold. He did not bend the knee.
I don't think that they would secretly have him bend the knee and not show us.
This is where I differ. I think that they would, and then I think that they would just do it like a Bran flashback. Like, oh, Bran.
No, listen.
Not a flashback, like a mini montage where we get like a Rhaegar, and then we see like Jon on a knee, or them like shaking hands, or something, like, you know what I mean, like them like shaking hands, or I think that something like that happened in that case. Like, because I do agree, I think it was Lola Dixie said earlier, they do walk out side by side. So side by side could mean they're either on the same page, or they're partners, or something. But they came to an agreement in that cave, and we did not just see it. Do you agree with that? That something happened in that cave that we did not see?
He bent both knees. Because we know that's what Jon does in caves.
Yeah, we know that Jon Snow is a habitual MVP in caves. He gets it done, man, and yeah. But I mean, for example, like, I just think that he actually did do it. But I want to know. I'm gonna go into the chat right now, and I'm going to go into the chat. I'm gonna flip it back a bit, because I see people with the nose emoji. This nose emoji that Kyle and George have pushed out into the world of fake news. This emoji is showed, Amelia, when people are saying fake news. So they basically, all those weird orange emojis, they're saying it's fake news. So let's see what everybody says. Marie says, but he will bend the knee after he escapes from that stupid white hunt. Why couldn't Danny just fly over the whites and see proof? Yeah, I do agree with that. But I think that Jon... You see, we have someone. His name is Daniel Gonzalez. And Daniel Gonzalez says, I'm with you, Ray. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I don't know that he agrees with you. I think that he just wants to stand by your side so you don't get beat up.
I mean, I don't know if this is to me, but Tabitha Warren says thank you. I'm guessing, I don't know if that's for me, but I'm going to still take that as a W for me. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. George, again, says that he did not bend the knee. George was one that said he didn't. Let's see.
When he bends the knee, it's going to be for a marriage proposal. And then they're going to be king and queen, so it's not going to matter.
Craig says that this is too big to happen off screen. Yes, it is too big to happen off screen. But what if we don't have to see it now? What if this is... Because, like, in the upcoming episode...
We have not gotten a flashback yet. And you're going to waste a flashback on him bending the knee when they could have shown that already? Like...
Best
Do you?
believe
Here's
that.
a question: do you think we're going to get any flashbacks this season? Because we've got 3 episodes left.
I mean, we have to get a flashback.
I'm going to be real mad if all we get is PTA, and I shouldn't use that because people really do have that. If we get Stoic, I'm going to start calling him Stoic Bran. If that's all that we get, I'm going to be really mad.
I mean, I think that we will get flashbacks and other things that we did not see from current characters. So, like, I think that we'll get a mix of events from now and events from the past. And one thing that really made me mad about George R. R. Martin is George R. R. Martin said that by the end of the story of the show, we won't need to have a Robert's Rebellion. I really would have wanted to see Robert's Rebellion. I better get all my flashback and all my vital information from that time period. If not, I'm going to be very upset.
We better just have is just a flashback episode. It's just Bran having multiple flashbacks the entire time. Just one full episode of flash. Great. Something that I did find really funny is when they came out of the cave and she is going on her rant, and all of the people are walking by, and she turns around, and John, I don't know if y'all caught this, but I thought it was hilarious. John literally takes a step back.
Yeah.
Steps back like, whoa.
You're kind of like
on the rampage, and he literally steps back when Danny turns around to start yelling at them. And he just, on my rants, I start to lag.
Yeah,
my phone can't handle it.
No, you just started lagging there, but you wanna go over that again?
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Hello. I don't know if that was a natural thing that the actor did or if they told him to do that, but it was really funny and it made me laugh and I liked it a lot. That's all.
I did find it interesting. To me, there's a couple of things that support that John bend the knee. One, he said he did it, that it doesn't matter when he was with Missandei and Davos. Why would John say it doesn't matter what they call him? In episode 3, we do see that John does allow Davos to fight for the title of king. Davos says, no, excuse me, he's king in the north. And then Danny and him go at it, and John doesn't say it doesn't matter then. But then in episode 4, after he spoke with Daenerys, he says it doesn't matter. And then people say, why is he asking Missandei? Well, he's asking Missandei because he wants to know what he committed to. He probably committed to Daenerys in some way, and he wants to know what the hell he just got himself into. And he's doing what Tyrion asked him to do, to ask around what's up with everybody else around them.
I think that he spoke with Missandei about that because in episode 3, Tyrion told him, go talk to the people who follow her and ask them why they do. And he just didn't get around to it until episode 4.
I mean, I think that, yeah, because Tyrion says go around and ask everybody what they think about Daenerys. Okay, cool. But I still feel that because people use that as like, oh, you see, this isn't, and I see that some people wrote me in the chat. First I'm gonna start off with Marie, and then I'm gonna go to Euron Greyjoy here. But Marie says, why would Dany try to intimidate Jon with Drogon if he hadn't already bent the knee? I don't think that she's trying to intimidate Jon, because we just see that Drogon is yelling at him. We see her flying. What I think in this scene happens is, I think that she arrives at Dragonstone. Jon goes to where she's arriving at. Drogon sees him, and then Drogon scowls or roars at whatever the hell dragons do. I don't know. He does that to Jon by himself. He's done that to other people. So Maybe he don't want no stepdaddy. I don't know, but something's up there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that's a reason to say like, oh no, that's why he didn't bend the knee. Maybe, I mean, I know people that are bosses and they still want to intimidate you. You know what I mean? Just to keep you in check. So maybe she wants to intimidate him. If that is indeed the case, it's just intimidating, just to keep him in check and be like, yo, look, I run shit, not you. And Euron Greyjoy says, what do you guys think about Daenerys wanting Jon Snow, but totally okay with her with Euron Greyjoy says, what do you think about Dany wanting Jon Snow, but my niece calling herself Queen of the Iron Islands? You see how Euron Greyjoy referred to his niece?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I think is, one, it's a way of, because when Yara goes to Dany, she goes like, you know, looking to help Daenerys. She's offering her fleet, and she knows that Yara knows that that's going to be her queen. But just like in Dorne, yeah, you have the title of prince, but you will not be king, or you. Well, how could I put it? The buck ends here. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. The buck ends here with me. So that's what I think that Dany's trying to do. I think that with Jon Snow, she's taking that aggressive stance more too, because remember, it was Ned and Robert that were basically the downfall of the Targaryens. So anything from that side, she might be like, you know, this might look bad cosmetically. It doesn't look nice for me. So that's what I think about that. But do you have any thoughts about that?
No, I'm typing.
You see, Christian O says it. I mean, there's a few people out there that believe your boy. It's still possible. Yes. Is it more possible that he probably didn't bend the knee? Yes. But I think you people are being too close-minded. But let's just move on to our next topic, because it was something that I really wanted to see this season, and it was Theon Greyjoy and Jon Snow. What did you think about the Theon-Jon reunion?
I didn't even think about that. You know, like, as soon as it came on, I was like, oh, shit. I forgot about that.
That was your number one thought?
Yeah, I didn't think about them crossing paths, you know? And then I was like, oh, how is this going to go down? And then Jon just saying, for, you know, what you did for her is the only reason why I'm not killing you. Like, and how was Theon supposed to act? Like, Theon being like, hey, Jon, didn't expect to see you here, was my reaction like, oh, shit, I totally forgot that I didn't expect for these two to be on screen together. But I liked how it was handled, and I liked what Jon said. Yeah, that was a nice, you know, little scene there. I liked it.
I mean, I was thinking, like, they just should have dropped a cut of filet mignon right in the middle and be like, beef! Beef! They have so much beef between them because of what he did with Rob, and it was just insane. Like, I saw that scene, and I was like, oh, man, someone's going to get their ass kicked. But, you know, Theon did good with Sansa. He helped Sansa. So it was cool that Jon, you know, chanced him on that. But it was interesting. I feel that did not help Theon with the Iron Islanders. Like, I feel like it made him even look worse. You know what I mean? Being shoved around and pushed around by basically an enemy in the north. It's interesting. I want to see if they could work together.
I'm sorry. I thought it was very bold too, like, because Jon is not in his, you know, he's not in his territory, and nobody around besides the two of them. Like it was bold of him to go and to grab him when everybody else around would have no idea why, what it's about, that they knew each other. But Jon didn't care. He was like, you know, normally Jon is a bit more reserved. Maybe this is him, you know, being resurrected. I was like, damn, that was, you know, because, like, Theon is, you know, a part of Dany's little crew, so.
I mean, he was part of Dany's little crew. he was. Like I don't know, man. I just think that it was so insane how it escalated quickly. You know what I mean? Like it was genuinely like really fast. It escalated so quick. Um, I just feel that Theon. I just feel bad for Theon. Theon is like a very sympathetic character to me. I feel that. I mean, Jamie lost a hand. Theon lost his penis. Point blank. Like, you have two hands. You only have one penis. So and then he was cut, tortured. It was just bad, man. So I feel bad for Theon any time I see it. So it just sucks for Theon, but I thought he was gonna get his ass kicked, and I probably would have liked to see him get his ass kicked a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. So let's move on to our next topic, Amelia, and it was something that we were expecting because Entertainment Weekly released a photo a long time ago of Daenerys on Drogon, and it was basically the Field of Fire 2.0, right? And we see that when Theon gets there, he asks for Daenerys, and basically they say that Daenerys is not there. And then they say, where is she? And then we see Bronn, Jamie, and like, I just love the way that this scene was filmed, right? We see that they start hearing the rumbling, they start getting ready, and Jamie's like, yeah, we could hold them off. And then next thing you know, they see the dragon. What did you think about the Field of Fire 2.0, Amelia? Because it was insane.
They're calling it the battle is officially called, and tell me in the comments, yeah, the Loot Train Massacre, I guess. Yeah. And they also said, did I send you that? It's like a 8-minute long video of the making of that battle.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was more difficult to make than Battle of the Bastards, which once I watched it, I could totally see why. It was awesome. But my issue is towards the end, when Tyrion walked up on the hill, I was like, where the hell did he come from? Like, they're on Dragonstone. I can see her getting there. If because the Dothraki, like, help me through this. It's just you and I are in chat or anything. So, the Dothraki, weren't they supposed to be on Yara's ships because they were going to lay siege to King's Landing, and they were going to go? No. That was the Dornish and the Tyrells. They were going to lay siege. So, what were the plans again for the Dothraki in season, like in Tyrion, when in episode 1, when Tyrion's like laying out all of his plans?
Well, basically it was, if I recall correctly, it was Tyrells and the Ironborn. No, Tyrells and the Dornish were going to lay siege to King's Landing. The Unsullied would take Casterly Rock, and basically, you know, she was kind of holding off on the Dothraki because they're kind of crazy, and you know, it's kind of more feared. So she knew that was like the second best weapon that she had, the Dothraki. So we even see that Robert Baratheon mentioned it in season 1. So I think that was the plan. She was just gonna wait until they were needed, but she didn't think, I think, that she was going to need the Dothraki, like, from there. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what I think was happening. But I think that was just the plan. But I don't know. I mean, overall, you wanna continue what your thought was?
Yeah, like, how I can see her getting there because she's flying a dragon, but they were on an island. How? Again, like, we could have totally done with 10 episodes. Even if, like, you don't have to show them getting on a boat and getting over to the mainland of Westeros, like, if you want to shorten it. But it's like, really, all in the same episode, they're all over there. I'm like, happened so fast. But I mean, the battle was just, I mean, you're just holding your breath the whole time, fearing for Drogon's life, and fearing for Bran and Jaime. You're like, who's gonna die? Um, it was just like, and the looks on their faces and the look on Jaime's face when, you hear these rumblings and it's like this earthquake and you're like, what the hell is going on? But then on top of that, here comes this dragon. It's like, oh shit. And, she burns all of the food, which is going to hit everybody hard. Um, it just, it was epic.
I mean, to me, like when you look at like this is one thing that I continue to say in this season, right? The practicality of it all has gone out the window. Yes, we should have been able to see the Dothraki maybe make camp at some point throughout their trip to where they, attack the Lannisters. I just feel that since they're rushing it, they feel like, oh no, this is just money on top of money. We don't want to spend that. Let's just hit the bulletin points, and that's what they did. But overall, I'm still pretty happy with it. I mean, it was like, oh, where did she go? And the next thing you know, she's right there. So that was pretty dope. I just enjoyed, like, for one, I enjoyed the character Dickon. I didn't think that I would have any liking towards him because he hasn't been like developed or anything, but it's kind of a cool development. You know what I mean? Seeing him and how different he is from Randall himself, and that Randall Tarley is a asshole. Like, he is so bad. So seeing that and seeing just that dynamic there really made me like him. And he saved Jaime at one point. But just the way that this whole scene was filmed was insane because we see that basically you don't know who the hell to root for. We have Jaime and Bronn on one side, and then we have Daenerys, Drogon, and Tyrion on the other. And you're like, oh my god, please don't die. Please don't die. Oh my god, oh my god. And that's how I felt seeing the whole episode. What was going through your mind when you were watching this episode?
That I didn't want, the people that I love to die. I don't want Bronn or Jaime or Dany or Drogon to die. When the Dothraki stood on their horses and then started shooting their arrows, that was hot. Like, that was amazing. Like, that right there was just, that was so great. I thought, when he entered, of course, that bothered me. I'm like, how the hell did he get there? Like, he couldn't, did he fly on the dragon with, I guess they want us to assume that he, like, even if the Dothraki just made camp on the mainland or something, like, Tyrion must have gone on the dragon with Dany, and then she dropped him off before she entered the battle, and he walked up, But he looked, like, very nervous. He looked almost as if he, like, I might regret this, because he sees Jaime and he sees his family's army, and they're just burning. You see that sort of remorse in his face, which I thought was really interesting. And the other thing I thought was interesting, and I think that they may have made, I did not come up with this on my own. This was a clip or a meme or something that I saw on Facebook. And maybe Marie might have had it on her Facebook. That when Jaime is charging for Dany, and he's charging through the water, right? Like the edge of the pond, or whatever this is, lake, yeah. Pond, large body of water. But Bronn then pushes him 5 to 7 feet inward in the water, and all of a sudden it's the Marianas Trench. Like, really? That to me was a big mistake. But, and then I immediately, like, sent you a message. I was like, do you think the Drogon's going to be okay? Do you think that he's going to heal? I was really worried about that. And I couldn't stand when the Dothraki cut off Bronn's horse's leg. Oh, yeah, and when that horse whelped, I could not. That was hard to watch, and it was hard to watch, like, to hear Drogon like screech when he was hit. Like, I hate that.
How the hell do they make those noises? That's what I want to know.
Oh, somebody said that those actually do exist, like, really deep. I guess Timo, she said, I guess, like, where it's really deep water all of a sudden. Is that what she means? But yeah, the noises just really bothered me. it was a really great scene to watch, but also a very hard scene to watch. Okay. So that's what I think about it. I just took it all in. I don't think that Jamie's gonna die, even though he looks like he's like sinking 100 feet into the, he looks like he's sinking into the ocean. It's just weird. Um, but I'm trying to say something because Ray's muted.
No,
Oh, are you back now?
yeah. I'm back. It's just like for some reason in Lower Manhattan, the police and ambulances do not like to stop in traffic, and they turn on their sirens. So, yeah. No, but overall, I think that it was interesting to see, like you said, for example, like when they're chasing Braun. When they're chasing Braun, I'm like, oh man, bro, leave that gold, leave that gold. I know you want that gold, but don't get it. I was like, yo, why are you even thinking about it? This shouldn't even be like a thing. Take whatever you got, bro. Take this L and move on. It was insane. I just really enjoyed the way that they made you see Tyrion, because we see that Tyrion is, yes, sending people to basically war. He's sending these armies to go fight his brother and his sister, but it's very different for him to send them out and not see what's happening, and then him actually be at the battlefield and see the people who once fought for him and his father and his, and his family being burned alive by a dragon, without giving the option to even be kneel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just Daenerys just stormed in there and burned everybody. So I'm interested in seeing what happens in the next episode, because we do see that it does look like it's gonna be crazy in the next episode. But I have another topic. You want to say something?
Oh, I just wanted, and because I brought this up earlier, the first, when we see Braun and Jamie, and he's saying, like, I still need to get paid. When he leaves his gold, like when that happens and they show that, and his gold just spills out and he has to leave it, he had to go, man the Scorpion. Even if he would have grabbed his gold and then manned the Scorpion. But like when he lost his gold, he knew he was still going to have to man the Scorpion, because that was the only chance that he had to live. I still think, though, that the look on his face is, this shit isn't worth it. Like, he respects Jamie in the aspect that I'll push you out of the way because I can, and I don't want you to die by, like, I can save you and I can help you, so I'm going to. But the look on his face when that happened, and we know Braun's the kind of person that would love to take down a dragon, but the look on his face when he lost his gold, I really think that all of that, from the beginning of the episode to that, when that happened, like, you don't show him complaining about not getting paid and then showing him losing all of his gold for that not to affect him in the coming episodes. I really think that he's going to be like, fuck this.
I mean, talk about possible W's. Braun was going to win huge. He was going to be a legend. If he would have knocked down, would have gotten rid of Drogon. He was like, Sir Braun of the Blackwater, Dragon Slayer. That would have been a crazy, crazy ending for that episode. But we know that Drogon basically is still alive. He seems to be all good and dandy. I know a lot of people are asking if the bolt or the arrow from the Scorpion was poisoned by Qyburn. I don't think it was, because by the time in the next episode that he would have arrived, maybe the Dragonstone, he should be dead. Because remember, between episodes, it's been like months and weeks already passing in each timeline. So, do you think that something happened there with Qyburn and poison on Drogon?
I don't think. I don't think it was poisoned. I don't think that that's how it's going to go down. I think you'd need a heck of a lot more poison. It was big, but Drogon's way bigger, and if Dany can attempt to pull it out, I think you'd need a lot more poison. But then again, I'm no Macer, and I'm no Qyburn. I think you need a lot more poison to kill a dragon. I think he would bet on multiple arrows from the scorpion hitting him and killing him versus poison on the arrow killing him.
Yeah,
That's just my opinion, but I'm probably wrong.
I mean, I forgot who it was the other day on Kyle's chat that said that, I think it was someone in the chat that had said something like that dragons are magic, so probably the poison wouldn't even affect them if indeed, because we saw that Melisandre drank the poison in season 2 and nothing happened to her, so, since they're probably like magic of the same kind from R'hllor, it probably wouldn't affect them. It was a dope point.
Yeah, and then what? Like poisons in human, is that going to affect a dragon the same way? Like I don't know. I just don't think that that's some. I don't think we're going to go down that path.
So overall, what would you have given this episode of rating? What would you have rated this episode? I want to know what you guys in the chat think. Give this a rating from 1 to 10. What did you give it, Amelia?
A 9.5.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, why? Well, I gave episodes because of Lady Olenna. I'm giving it a 9.5 and not a 10. I mean, you know me, and somebody called me a summer child earlier. Like I like complain about certain things but I still love it all. But certain things just bugged me. Like, how did Tyrion get there? And why are they doing that? Like, what bugs me is that we could have had 10 episodes. I gave episode 3 a 10 because of how well the scene with Lady Olenna was done. I loved that. But this episode, it just lacked the fact that it was great, but it could have been more. Like, they just didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Now, I personally give this episode a 10. I could be like, because to me, my only thing was that it was extremely short, and they maybe could have given us a scene or two of filling in maybe Dany leaving, at least showing Dany leaving early in the episode. And then, like, towards the end, we see it. It's like, wow, she made it there quick. But at least we see her leaving, or maybe her journey, like, at least 3 minutes in there or something. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, John told her, don't just go burning everybody. Don't go burning King's Landing because then you're just like the rest of them. So her plan was to burn the loot train and burn the army. And that was fine. They should have added a scene where that decision was made, because in the previews, we knew we were going to get the battle, right? So it's not like it was a surprise that we saw the Dothraki and the dragon and the Loot Train massacre. Like, we knew we were going to get it. What we didn't get was a scene where Dany had somehow, with her council, made the decision to do that and maybe show us this is how we're going to do it, so that when Theon gets there, because when he said she's not here, I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden she's already, halfway across Westeros. Like, there should have been a scene that set that up, and it would have gotten a 10 from me.
Before I continue on my side, I just want to say thank you again. Oh my God, Aaron, thank you so much again for the donation. Aaron has been insane today. So thank you so much, Aaron, again for the support. It means the world to me. So thanks. Like, I can't even say thank you enough. So I mean, I personally gave the episode a 10. I could have been like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, this would have been a little bit better. If like they would have gave us a little bit more, texture or something in the story. But I feel that it was a perfect episode. We got a Stark reunion. We had an Arya battle versus Brienne. We had the Field of Fire 2.0. I'm still gonna call it like that. I don't care what they want to call it. Luke Cart, whatever attack. That's their name. Field of Fire 2.0. It was just like a good overall. We had that chemistry scene with Jon and Dany in the cave. It was a great episode. I think it was great. So that leads me to this question, Amelia. In your mind, which one was the best episode of season 7? Because so far they all seem to be great and have great moments in each one, right? But to me, I have my own thoughts on which one I think is the best episode. Which one do you think is the best episode of season 7 so far?
Still episode 3. My mom thinks episode 4.
Your mom thinks episode 4. You think episode 3? I think episode 4, hands down. I mean, all the other ones have great moments, but I feel like this one was a bigger payoff to more things. You know what I mean? That's just me personally. I think that seeing Drogon actually in battle, that was something that we previously did not have. Jon and Dany having some type of chemistry or understanding. Arya returning to Winterfell, a Stark reunion, all three of them together. I think that overall it was a great episode. I could see why episode 3 might be a great one too, because, you know, we finally get to see Jon and Dany meeting. But I don't know. Which one do you guys think in the chat? What episode do you guys think was the best so far in the season? I'm interested in seeing what do you guys think.
Peter Griffin said 4, 3, 1, and 2. We've got a lot of episode 4. We've got Lyanna Stark 4, 1, 3, and then 2. Euron Greyjoy episode 2 was the best by far, thanks to me, of course. Most people are saying 4.
I think, yeah, because 4 just had so many highlights. It was just like bam, 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 fan service. It was just great.
George said 5 is amazing. I just saw it.
Yeah.
George? Marie says George Sartianos.
Yeah.
Is that how you say? Marie says 1 and 4. Sam, the narrator, says 4, 3, 1, and 2, just like Peter Griffin.
I mean,
saying that I need to see them travel. I just would have liked to seen that showed Dany making the decision to do that. I thought that would have been helpful. I'm not like I didn't know it was coming, but why did she choose to do that versus, because people are saying, well, she didn't listen to Jon, but she kind of did listen to Jon.
And just before everybody, I think that George is joking. He did not actually see episode 5. Everybody's asking if the episode leaked.
Yeah.
So
you are a troll, George.
Wait. Now you guys could spam the nose emoji at George for fake news. How you like them apples? Now I'm flipping the table on George. Yeah. No, but episode 5 hasn't leaked. On another note, did you hear that HBO was offering $250,000 to the hackers who leaked the previous episode?
Didn't they ask for way more money than that, though?
Yeah, but HBO offered it to them like as in a program, like a white hat program. I think that's what I read. That they they were offering, like, you know, like, oh yeah, thank you for showing us our security issues. Give us our shit back and keep happy. But they were stalling them. It was like stalling to see if the cops could get them in a week. But it was weird, man. It was weird.
Do you all watch Mr. Robot? I love Mr. Robot. That always reminds me of that kind of stuff, like hackers for the people. Do you watch Mr. Robot?
No, I still haven't seen it. My brother told me that it'll drive you crazy to see like you'll never look at your computer the same again or something like that.
Yeah, you won't.
She's like, yeah, you won't. But I wanted to take some questions because I know Amelia almost has to head out. I want to take some questions. Throw them in the chat. We could probably.
My phone's gonna die. If I disappear, it's because my phone died.
What percentage are you on? What number?
23% of the iPhone. What is this? The 7. So I can't charge it if I have my earphones in.
Okay, so send us a question. We have a so Tony Stark subscribed. Shout out to Tony Stark. Thanks for subscribing again.
You've got Euron Greyjoy and Tony Stark?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
All in one night?
Big people, man. Big people are subscribing. Hey, send me one of those Iron Man suits, Tony Stark. Send it on the plus size. You know, like bigger mold. I'm a big boy. Send in your questions.
Peter Griffin asks, will we see Bran show a vision in 7 or 8?
I think we'll see a vision of Bran. What do you think?
We better. You can't go season 6 and have that many visions, and then in season 7 not show any.
I mean,
that's dumb.
We have to see Rhaegar this season. If we don't see Rhaegar this season, ooh, HBO. I don't know what, but ooh, HBO. We got to see, I think, at least Rhaegar. I don't believe we're going to see the tourney at Harrenhal, even though I would like to see... No, yeah, I don't think we're going to see that tourney. I don't know. Is there any vision you would want to see specifically? Did we lose?
I think Harrenhal, the tourney at Harrenhal would be really cool.
I think that would be the better one. Do we have another question?
Yeah. What happened? Sam. Oh, the Night King conquers humanity. I was on the phone with when I was on the phone with Jamie yesterday. We kind of talked about this. I don't know what would happen, and I've said it before in the live stream. I really hope that they show us the mindset of the Night King and the White Walkers, because if you conquer humanity, like I said this to her, like if you just go and you kill everybody and you have this army of the dead, and we can only assume that the only way that they can continue having White Walkers is babies that they turn into White Walkers, then you're kind of screwing yourself, right? So I think that we need to learn more about the mentality of the White Walkers, and hopefully they show us that before we can understand what would happen to humanity.
Lost to them?
Because they can't, from what we know, they can't mate and make more White Walkers.
Yeah, but Old Nan says that they would mate with women, if I recall correctly.
But from what we've seen, they take the babies and they turn them into White Walkers. So if you conquer humanity, you just have a huge dead army, and you don't have anybody else to give you babies. So we just don't have enough information but I hope that they give us that. Like, what is their goal? Why are they just trying to find some children of the forest to turn them back to humans?
I mean, when I see it, I think that there is something there, because remember, the children of the forest made them to kill to defend themselves against humanity, against people. So I do believe that there is a little bit something there besides what the children of the forest wanted, because they ended up killing the children of the forest too. So it turned on them. But overall, I don't know what they want, but it would be interesting to see, maybe through a vision of the first original Long Night, where things went awry, that the children of the forest went to the First Men and be like, yo, we messed up. We need to join each other and fight the White Walkers. Because that, to me, is where it's going to be really interesting to see, like, that turning point. And maybe we might see that. I don't know. I doubt we'll see it, but that would be dope to see. Do we have another question?
This is a funny one. Let me go back up. So Tabitha asks, bed, marry, and kill. Dany, Sansa, and Missandei. I would bed Missandei, kill Sansa, and marry Dany, and I would only marry Dany because she has dragons. What about you?
Boy, I don't know. I mean, those three are three beautiful women, great within their own, right, whatever. Personally, I would marry Sansa. I would bed Missandei, and I would kill Daenerys. Yeah, that's the way I would do it. That's the way I would go about it. Because, yeah, Daenerys has dragons, but Daenerys could be crazy, and she got those fucked up inbred genes and shit. You know what I mean? Like, her daddy was her uncle, and her daddy was her brother. I don't know, some weird shit like that. So, I don't want those genes in my family. And she got that dragon rabies thing going on. And then Sansa, she's been through a lot, but if you treat her good, she might not kill you when you're sleeping. So I think that Sansa's good on there. And then Missandei's just beautiful, man. I don't know. I think I got it right there.
Let me ask you. Hold on. Now I forgot what I was going to ask. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
I'm trying to get this lighting because now it's totally dark here. Um, do you think that the Night King and the White Walkers are just going to walk around the wall?
When it's said and done,
Do you? Yeah. I mean, if they breach the wall, do you think it's going to be at Eastwatch and they're going to walk around it?
I mean, I think that part of the wall has to come down. Like, it has to come freaking down. Like, you cannot have that wall and be like, it's never falling, and then not have it fall. Or crack, at least. You know what I mean? Like, a huge chunk of it. Because I don't think that the whole wall should fall, because the whole wall would be too hard for the main characters to defend. You know what I mean? If the whole wall falls, and you have whatever 700 miles of wall down, the White Walkers could come in at through any place on the wall, and they can't man that wall. But I think that it does have to fall at one specific spot, and I think that they slowly have to come in through there. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think that the White Walkers will walk like humans or be with humans. Nah, hell no. Do you?
I don't know. I would be, like I said before, if they walk around that wall, I'm going to be really, really angry. Like, it cannot go down like that. Hopefully they'll attempt, and then this whole, the Brotherhood and John and Tormund being up there is going to stop them. So they're going to be like, well, fine, never mind. We're going to just knock the wall down. And then that's what we're going to get. Like, they're going to attempt to walk. They're not going to make it. So then they're going to find a way to bring the wall down.
I mean, like to me, it's just funny that Tormund made such a joke about now he's the Night Watch now. You know what I mean? And then, like, as soon as he goes to Eastwatch, like, John knew that they were closer to Eastwatch and they were probably gonna go there. But it's funny that they put Tormund in charge and the wall falls on Eastwatch, or they go just around Eastwatch. Like, that would be like ironic yet funny to me. But I don't know. It's interesting. Do we have any more questions? Anything else? Oh snap! We got Kyle in the chat. Shout out to Azora Hype, Kyle.
Sim down. Isn't there a White Walker queen? So there are chick White Walkers. Don't they bang each other?
What the?
A long time ago. A long ago, there was a female White Walker, but she's not around anymore, as far as we know. We haven't seen any female White Walkers.
Yeah, I don't think that there's. I know that it's funny because I was kind of oblivious to the whole why everybody believed that Melisandre was gonna be like the Night Queen, and it was because like George R. R. Martin commissioned like a toy, like in blue or something, and that's what I remember they were telling me. They were explaining it to me. I still don't buy much into the whole Night Queen thing. I think that was in the original Long Night, but I think that I just don't see a scenario where it goes down like that. Like there's like a Night Queen, and because then there would be no purpose for one Craster, like Craster sacrificing his children and them converting them to it. You know what I mean? What do you think about it?
I do not think that there are any female White Walkers anymore. We had the one in the book, during the original Long Night. And I mean, they wouldn't need to take babies if they had women.
I mean, I personally, like, I see that George says the Night Queen is not necessarily a White Walker. I agree. I don't think that it has to necessarily be like a White Walker straight up from the lands of Always Winter. I think that it could be like a white or something, like a resuscitated white or reanimated corpse or something of someone who has like magic abilities or is like paranormal in some way. Like, let's say, for example, you know what I mean? Like, let's say, for example, if like Melisandre were to lose like the power from her gem and then it turns into cold instead of like warm, because we know that in the books it kind of makes like it burns her like when what you call it. So I don't know. I just feel that I really don't see them going down that route, especially on the show. I think that in the books it might be more of a thing because Melisandre is like really weird in the books. Like Melisandre is one of those characters that could be very like I think George said once. George R. R. Martin said that she was like one of the more misunderstood characters, and that's why they ended up giving her a point of view. But do we have another question? No, maybe I don't know.
Hmm. Somebody asked where is Ghost, and I was like, if I don't see Ghost, I'm happy because that means he's alive.
I mean, Ghost is just one of those like, oh man, why don't you give the people what they want? Give the people what they need. We need Ghosts. We need direwolves. I mean, that's all. That's the only direwolf we're gonna see. Nymeria. Sam the narrator. Oh snap! Sam the narrator follows me on Twitter, and if you guys don't follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, you guys could click the link down below when the stream is done, and you guys could follow me there. I post like images as soon as they come out, thoughts, like like little fun things. It's always a discussion. You can follow me on Twitter, and I've been going back and forth with Sam the narrator. So shout out to Sam the narrator since yesterday about the whole Jon Snow bending the knee thing, and he says, "Wait, what was the question again?" Damn, like,
Are you talking to me?
No, I was talking about. Ah, here we go. Sam the narrator says, "Why is Baby Sam still here? What is his purpose? He is Craster's 100th son." I mean, I've talked about this before. I think that he will eventually get caught by the White Walkers because he's on the wall in the show. I mean, in the books, they swapped out Mance Rayder's kid with him. So I think that there is something bigger to Baby Sam. Maybe they need to complete like the 100. I think that Tony Teflon said once that he could possibly be like the prince that was promised for the White Walkers, like number 100. I don't know. Like I think that there is something in there. I just don't know what. I think there's something that intrigues me there. I want to see in the books what exactly is happening there. Do you have any thoughts on Baby Sam?
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see anything really in the show with Baby Sam being any pivotal part. If anything, it would be in the books. And I still am not sold on him being an important part in the books. Ask about, Baby Sam, and he was left behind because Jon was afraid that Mance's son would be considered
king, like king's blood.
No. I mean, that's why he was left.
All right. Amelia was lagging, and she's frozen.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So let me just mute Amelia there right quick. I had to mute you, Amelia, because it was kind of like lagging. But let me take one. Yo, have you ever seen the Jimmy Kimmel skit that he says like drunk Trump or whatever, because they put it like in really slow mo? That's how you sound. You sound like. So I'm not gonna put the camera on you so that they don't make like a meme. But I want to answer this question, then we might head out because I know your phone is gonna die. This comes from. All right, so this comes from Barbara Shetty, and she says, does anyone know why Arya asked which Lady Stark? Now, I know I've heard this question before, in my previous video. I personally think that she's just asking because she's realizing that, she does not know anybody who's there. Like, she's going into Winterfell blind, and Jon is king in the north, and she doesn't know if Jon married anybody. She doesn't know what the hell is the situation there. So I think that it was just like, which Lady Stark? Because she knows that her mom died. She was there at the twins. So I don't know. What do you have any thoughts on that, Amelia? On why Arya said which Lady Stark? Did we lose Amelia? I don't know. I guess we might have lost Amelia, but it's kind of like frozen. So I don't know. Let's see. Let me see myself. You're like extremely lagging, like crazy lagging.
Right.
All right, yeah. What was that? I think it's just because your phone is dying. Yeah, I'm a mute Amelia because that must be a kind maybe type annoying. Amelia, everybody's saying unmute. I think that if you lower the quality of your video, if you lower the quality of the video coming out, like your video, it'll what you call it, yeah. Timo says remix. No, what you call it, yeah, I don't know what's happening there with Amelia. It is insane how laggy you are. I don't know. I guess we should probably end the stream, but I want you to at least be able to say goodbye. Are you there? Blink twice if you're there. I don't know. I think we lost Amelia. Yeah, I think we lost her. Amelia, you could come off and come back on. Try that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Let me see some more in the comments. Let's just give some shout outs. All right, I hear her. I think there's life. All right. Yeah, I hear you. Are you talking? Yeah,
I'm talking.
I can hear you now. Yes. All right.
I don't know what's going on.
No, you know what I think?
I need these donations.
What you call it? I think that your phone, since it's dying, I think that's what's affecting like the internet speed or something. So do you want to end it right now? You wanna head out? I think that's the Seven and Velour and the Faceless Men and the Old Gods telling us that it's time to cut it. I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat before I head out. Shout out to Barbara, Sluice, Biotic Flux, Janelle, Slope, Marie Hill. If you haven't checked out Game of Thrones Interviews with Marie, check her out. She's in the chat. Marie, put your link in the chat. Everyone can check you out there. Timo 30.
I can't wait to rewatch this and hear myself.
Yeah, I didn't put you on camera because you would have been like a meme.
You can put. Well, what about try it now?
All right, let me see. You have your camera on now? Oh yeah. All right, cool.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you didn't see me like waving to you and stuff.
No, all I heard was doot dot doot dot doot dot doot. And that's being generous. And that's being like generous.
I can't wait to rewatch this.
That was being extremely generous of what I heard. Like it was just like crazy. It was insane. But shout out to everyone, like I said in the chat. Thanks for joining us tonight. Amelia, do you want to say goodbye to everyone? Because we should just probably cut it here while we're ahead.
Yeah. We've got to figure this out. Like, we need to do another trial run tomorrow or something. But I can't wait to rewatch this and hear myself. I'm sorry because I'm having to use my phone because we couldn't get audio to work on my laptop. But it's not all me. I mean, some of this we're blaming on Hangouts and YouTube. But everybody enjoy tomorrow's episode. Hugs and love. I'm sorry that I sounded like Alvin. I'm glad that I gave you all a good belly laugh. I can't wait to rewatch it. Good night.
And I wanted to just say thanks to everyone who joined us. If you haven't, remember, drop a thumbs up, hit that like button. It helps the channel hell a lot. Thank you to everyone who donated today. Erin, Marie, thank you so much for the support. It means the world to me, and it helps the channel hell a lot. You guys could see that, like, the equipment be bugging out. Like, this is the first stuff I started with like a year ago. So thank you again for the support. And we will be live next Saturday as well, and possibly with a guest. I don't know, depending on what you guys want to see, how you guys like it. You know, me and Amelia are always here. We always have fun. You know, we have that wingman thing going on, me and Amelia. And I don't know. I really enjoy doing this. This is hella fun. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy tomorrow's episode. It seems to be crazy tomorrow. And I'm just super hyped, man. We only got 3 episodes. Let's enjoy this. Remember, tomorrow after the episode airs, I will have my video up ASAP as soon as I can have it out. My thoughts on the video initially, and then after that I'll have theories and all that other good stuff. What can I say, guys? As always, it's a true pleasure. My name is Ray, and peace. Yeah, now you see that little awkward pause after I say peace, so I'm gonna do it again. As always, guys, it's a true pleasure. My name is Ray, and peace. You see, that one sounded better.